got to get a haircut. This is ridiculous. Hey guys, what's going on? You all know who I am, and today I'm going to give my review for Transformers The Last Knight. Now, I just want to spoilers, let you all know that there's going to be some spoilers in this video, so just spoilers. Be prepared for that, just in case you spoilers don't want to know anything that happened in the movie. Spoilers. I think that's a sufficient enough spoiler warning, so I think that we're just going to get right into it. Okay, Transformers The Last Knight. Where can we really begin? I guess the best way to do it is at the beginning. You see Optimus flying through space like you see in the trailer, and it looks like he's dead, but like later on he's going to be landing on Cybertron and he's alive, so I'm not sure like what's going on. He lands on Cybertron and he meets Quintessa. She's like, "You destroyed your home. Do you seek redemption?" And he's like, "My maker, I do." I'm not working really hard on my voice acting right now, so just bear with me. We have some other confirmed things from other movies that happened. Wheelie is alive, and he's at the junkyard living with Cade and the Autobots. Topspin is alive, and he's, I believe, down in Cuba with Agent Simmons, who also is alive. And Topspin actually talks in this movie, which is kind of great, because in Dark of the Moon he said jack shit. So in the junkyard we see our Autobots. We have Drift doing some Zen shit. We have Crosshairs being Crosshairs, Hound being Hound. We meet the mini Dinobots, and the Autobots think of them as just like an infestation, but they're really cute. So Cade comes in and like yells at Grimlock for eating a police cruiser of the dude whose property they're on. A new Autobot comes in. His name is Day Trader, and he's like Wreck-Gar, but he's not at all Wreck-Gar. He's voiced by Steve Buscemi, which I thought was great. He somehow manages to find Starscream's head, which is somehow intact even though it blew up. Not sure, but whatever. Day Trader brings in a new voice box for Bumblebee to give him his voice back, but it sounds like Siri, and that part was actually kind of funny. We see Megatron, and he's Megatron again, but there's not really anything to that. They're just like, yeah, he's Megatron, like he was never at all Galvatron from a few years ago. But he's got a new body. He's voiced by Frank Welker again. He's got Barricade, who's also back, which is kind of nice. He has a pretty sweet voice, but it doesn't really fit with how he used to sound. Unless, like, how he sounded in the first movie was just because he was yelling, and, like, he sounds normal-ish now because, reasons. I don't know, but that's just one thing I found interesting. Megatron meets up with the TRF, which is the new human task force assigned for hunting down Autobots. He talks with Lennox to get a few of his Decepticons out. Mohawk, Dreadbot, who I assumed was Berserker until a few minutes later they said Berserker, and they're like, no, we can't let him out. She's like, so there are two Dreads now? I don't know. But then we meet Nitro Zeus. Now, when we first talked about his toy in the Insane Asylum, we thought his name was just Nitro. But Nitro Zeus, it's kind of a ridiculous name, but it's kind of funny, and he's kind of a ridiculous and funny character. He's kind of one of my favorite Decepticons, and he stays alive for most of the movie, even though he doesn't do anything like most of the Decepticons. But he's basically like a retooled Shockwave. He's got Shockwave's head and very similar body features to him, but different, I guess. And it's the same thing with Onslaught, too. He's basically kind of a remold of Long Haul from Revenge of the Fallen. And Onslaught, this kind of hurts. Because, like, Onslaught was, like, one of the first ones to get promoed. But he dies instantly. Wasted character. Mohawk was kind of wasted, too. But he's kind of a nothing character. Let's talk about the human characters for a little bit. The first two we're going to get out of the way because they're the same. Isabella and Jimmy from the junkyard. Both of them were useless. Isabella is more sad because, like, she had a big focal point in some of the ads, but, like, she does nothing. Absolutely nothing. They're kind of forced into the movie just because. Vanessa was more important, and she didn't really do much either, but she was definitely around more than the other two and actually kind of made sense. I love the way how Anthony Hopkins' character introduced the Witwickens. Although one thing that was interesting, did Sam die? It's like they showed his picture. I'm just like, oh, cool. They just had like a picture of his lineage. But then like I hear people say like he died or something. So let's talk about Cogman now. They briefly it's kind of a throwaway line of what they say that he's a headmaster, But like, he shows no traits of being a headmaster other than he's human-sized. They basically just kind of threw that in and are making a toy of him being a headmaster, pretty much because of the Titans Return line that's going on right now. I mean, it's alright, just like, it's kind of dumb. I liked Cogman a lot, but just like give another reason to why he's that size, like he's a minicon or something, or actually show him being a headmaster. I don't know, I guess that's one thing I'd do differently. The stuff that Anthony Hopkins showed them of how the Transformers have been there for a long time, which, you know, it's kind of understandable because, like, they've been around since, because of the stuff that happened in Revenge of the Fallen. Kind of going back to Optimus, he's not really in the movie a whole lot because he's kind of being mind-controlled by Quintessa. They talk about, like, how they can save Cybertron from the Earth, and it's another little MacGuffin device. But, like, they steal a plot point from Transformers Prime, which is weird. And they say that Unicron is the Earth, or is in the Earth, and, like, that's what those horns are. So, that'll be an interesting plot point to use in the next movie. That huge fight with Bumblebee and Optimus, it's a great battle, and it's nice to watch. And after it all, like, you know, with the whole ripping Bumblebee's, like, mask off and, like, using the sword to, like, kind of jab at him. Right when that happens, Bumblebee gets his voice back for some reason. But then, like, when he speaks, it's different to how he sounded in the first movie. And when Optimus hears it, he's like, I haven't heard it since Cybertron fell. So, like, was the voice that Bumblebee used at the end of the first movie his actual voice, or was that part of the radio, or were the writers just being inconsistent and forgot about the first movie altogether? I'm inclined to think that it was the writers, but who knows? And they have a big fight at the end of the movie with Megatron and Quintessa, but Quintessa doesn't die and Megatron doesn't die, so, you know, more baddies for the sequel. You know, they say this movie's the final chapter, but it's showing no signs of being the final chapter, especially with the Bumblebee spinoff coming in a few years. Now, you might be thinking that I didn't like the movie because of all the things that I'm saying, but I actually did. It's a big, dumb action movie, and I enjoyed myself watching it. It's not a perfect movie, but it's still really good, in my opinion. And that's pretty much all I really have to say about it. So, with that, I'm going to end the video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you saw The Last Night, please comment down below, tell me what you thought of it, and just know that that everyone has their own opinions, and I respect all of yours, so if you could, also respect mine. Thank you all so much for watching. I've been 01 Transfan, the #1, and I'll talk to you all next time.